Aloha and welcome to Connection to the Cosmos with your host, me, Dr. Lisa Thompson, where I have out of this world conversations with extraordinary people. And today I am so excited to have on Katherine Flynn. We're going to bring her on in just a moment, but first a couple of announcements. If you have not had the opportunity to grab my free 20-minute meditative journey to meet your galactic family and guides, make sure you grab that on my website, mysticmanta.com or drlisajthompson.com. And if you're coming to Hawaii, to the Big Island, come on one of my Big Island UFO tours where you will see the night sky in a whole new way using my advanced Generation 3 military night vision goggles. And for more information on that, you can visit bigislandUFOtours.com. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Katherine on. Hi, Katherine.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, let me share with the audience all about you because I'm super excited to get into the conversation. So, Katherine Flynn is a channeler, certified intuitive life purpose coach, psychic medium, and artist who supports people in unblocking their life purpose with channeled wisdom and grounded guidance direct from source. She has channeled several spiritual beings, with the latest being a Druid whom she has worked with in other lifetimes. Katherine combines messages from source with practical action plans to align your life to its optimal path and help you live your true life purpose. She creates a space where spiritual guidance feels approachable, empowering, and easy to integrate into your life. Through your sessions, she helps you explore your life purpose and map out your path so you can live the centered, peaceful, and dynamic existence that you came here to live. Wow. So excited to have you here. Before we get into the conversation about the work that you do and the channeling and all of that, I would love for you to share with me in the audience kind of your background, like how you grew up, spiritual, religious, something else.
I grew up Catholic, going to Catholic schools and understanding that, and just trying to kind of figure out who I was over time. But I was very much in the box that I think many of us grew up in during those time frame. And so as I grew up and really figured out who I was, what I noticed was that when I got into my 30s, that I was very opening up spiritually. And then that's kind of when my belief structure changed a little bit to allow for me to really become who I am today.
Okay, so what was it? Was there like a certain situation that happened in your 30s where you had this change or this epiphany?
I became psychic. That was the big one. I started channeling, so that was a big one. And as I started working with my guides and the Druids and other collective energies and consciousnesses is when I really say, okay, what is part of my belief and what is not, and how can I reformat who I am and how I want to live my life, kind of moving forward in things.
Okay, so with the psychic piece, how did that come online? Like, was it just one day you woke up and you're like, oh, I know things, I see things, I hear things, or tell me more about that.
Yeah. It started with a tarot card test. I had never read tarot before, but for some reason I had this really pull to take this class. So I showed up to class. I had new cards. I really had to figure out how this was going to fit with me. And the first one I had to read, she looked at me, she goes, "You're spot on." One thing that is different is that my husband gave me the necklace for my anniversary, not my birthday. And that was really the beginning of the journey. So I continued reading tarot, and then one night I was in a practice session for tarot, and oddly enough, I was the only one who showed up, and that was the first time I ever channeled.
Okay, and so in terms of, I'll get to the channeling in a moment because I'm just curious, like, because psychic skills, they can come in different forms, different clairs. And so I'm curious how yours came to you. Or was it clairvoyance or one of the other clairs?
I was more clairvoyant and just that knowing where it's like, well, I don't know why I know this. I tried to go really through the trusting with myself to really understand what was me and what was the other side. And so as things would come, I just really had to with that to understand that. Now I'll do stuff, I'll see stuff, I'll work a lot of players.
Okay, so again, we're gonna get to the channeling. So I'm super, I channel as well, and I'm super interested, like how that came through for you. But how did your family react to now all of a sudden you're doing tarot readings and you're psychic and all of this when you're growing up Catholic? I'm sure that came as a shock.
It did a little bit. My parents were always open to it. My mom read all of the Sylvia Brown books and all of the big things that were popular in the 90s. And so she was okay with it, but it was just understanding it. So now as I'm growing, I think we're still on a learning curve. But the nice thing was they supported me, they accepted it. There are still members of my family that are kind of unsure, but it's okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, well, let's, I guess, move forward to the channeling piece. So when you, in that, it must have been with your teacher, right? The tarot teacher. So what energy came through first?
It was one of my guides. So she was very calming. It was a nice understanding where I could really work with that energy. They tell me I only channeled for about 2 minutes, but I was completely exhausted afterwards. So that was okay. Allowing for me to really build up and continue to work with that vibrational space.
Okay. So I'm just curious, because were you in a state where you were in a meditation or a trance, or did all of a sudden your spirit guide just started coming through?
She just started talking. I was reading for she's the director of the center that I was at, and luckily she knew what was going on. And afterwards she's like, you know what you did? And I said, I had no idea. And that's when she said you channeled. And then I started working with her on understanding how this works for me.
Okay. So when your guide came through, were you present? Like, were you listening to what she was saying, or were you like completely gone?
I believe I probably could understand and could listen to what they're saying. I only hold my channelings for about a half hour to an hour afterwards. So I kind of I miss and I don't grasp it afterwards. So that was kind of the difference for me. So I couldn't tell you what she said or what happened. And that is still the case for me today, is I can hold it for a half hour to an hour afterwards, which is good because that allows for me to really assist my clients and make sure that they understand how to humanize it. But yet it's not mine, so that I lose it. And I'm happy about that.
Okay, got it. Well, so if the spirit guide came through first, so how many different beings or groups have you channeled so far?
I've done probably three different groups. So I had my spirit guide. I've done the Druids. They were kind of the next ones that came in, and then I will channel the divine feminine at times as well.
Okay, so in terms of the energy, I'm sure they probably feel a little bit different when they're coming through the different groups. So I would love to know how that shows up for you. What does it feel like, the difference?
I don't channel my guides as much anymore, so I can't really tell you the difference there. But with the Druids, it's very grounded. It's very dense energy. It's very earthly and very connected to that. Versus when I do the divine feminine, it's a very powerful, but it's a lighter energy, very nurturing. And so it's just kind of that difference of how things are. And even when I'm with one of the or if I'm with the Druids, I can tell if they switch. So I can have one that's really more forward, and then I'll notice they will flip. People tell me that they don't notice when it happens, but I can just sense the energy.
Okay. Well, and so how is it you deciding which one wants to come through with your clients? Or so yes, do they know which ones are coming through, or do you decide which ones are coming through?
They decide with the Druid. I typically don't channel the divine feminine with many people. Just we're trying to understand that energy still. But from a Druid standpoint, I let whoever wants to come through.
Okay. Well, and so you're the first person that I've met that has actually, that channels Druids specifically. You know, I've had other people on that channel ETs or angels or, you know, other things like that. So I am super curious what kind of messages they have for you, for your clients, for humanity.
It's a lot about life purpose when it's for people. So it's about what can we do to really fulfill the purpose and the reason that we came on this earth? And that can be difficult for us to understand because, you know, as we walk our path, we might go in different directions in different ways. So it really is about what do you need to do to readjust where you're at, or continue where you are, or to really make sure you're utilizing the energy that's available for you. So that is a lot of what they get and how they utilize the human body. Comes from Earth and is part of Earth. We always say we're spiritual beings. You're like who you are, but you're also human as well, and you're earthly. Yeah. So it's really with that.
Okay. Well, so are they the ones that help, I guess, people find their purpose, or do you, as part of your other work, you know what people's life purpose is, and then the Druids just have information about that?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
So they will tell people what their purpose is or what their connection is. But if they're not ready to fully hear what it is, they'll tell them steps to uncover that. So part of what I do with my coaching is really to say, let's look at the channeled message that you have, and then how that fits with the direction that you want to go, working with the elements. So it's about grounding the first week. Where's your foundation? Where do you look for? We talk about emotions and beliefs. The second week with water can really walk people through so they have a better understanding of who they are, and so they can continue forward after those 5 weeks, really feeling like they've got a better grasp on what's going on.
Okay, so then your coaching, is it a minimum of 5 weeks, or
yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. So I do individual channel sessions that are just a 1 hour channeling and then explanation, and then I also do the coaching. Then that is the 5 week sessions for people.
Okay, and then so do you also do sessions for your psychic mediumship separate from that, or is that all part of it?
That's kind of all part of the channeling. So that kind of all falls into that bucket.
Okay. And so when so with the mediumship, are you seeing like spirits or dead loved ones or things like that, or how does that come through for you?
At times I will see loved ones that have passed, or just energies that are showing up. It really depends upon the client. I can tell you there's no two clients that have ever been the same. And so when people say, well, what should I expect? I think what your soul most wants you to know or connect with. And it may not be exactly what you thought you were going to come in and get, but it's what you need to know. Because the messages I give are very pointed, and they're sometimes I think they're a little abrupt, but most people are like, no, I needed to hear that. Like, that was confirmation for me. So I just let them speak as it needs to come through.
Okay, beautiful. Well, so I guess tell me what kinds of clients come to you. Like, who are you attracting and helping with your services?
I find that bringing people to me that really are at that higher spiritual level. So not the people that are just getting into, but those that have an understanding of their path and where they're at, and are really looking, how do I excel forward? I'm working with a lot of clients lately that are doing shadow work or inner child work to really work on releasing energies or what is there. And so as things kind of progress for clients, I'm noticing that it's a mix. I'm not all women are all men. It's people that are really willing to take on those next steps and some of that little more difficult work that we've all gone through to say, okay, I just need someone to help kind of propel me forward and push me forward a little bit.
Okay, so And again, so you have different ways that people work with you, so they can sign up for the 5 weeks with the Druids or just the channeling sessions. So when people come to you for just like the channeling, do they come to you with specific questions, or are you just free flowing and sharing the information that they need to hear, whether they know it or not?
Cool. So I usually start off with just figuring out what the Druids want to say. Let that information come through. It is very conversational. So the client in front of me will be asked, do you understand? Do you have any other questions? What is there? It's a very kind of collaborative experience. And then at the end, those types of questions you have covered. And so that allows to ask questions that I haven't mentioned. And then from there, we jump out of the channeling, and I use any remaining time just to really discuss how to humanize this, how may it fit in their way. And that's where that mediumship and psychic ability comes in, because I can kind of connect it back for them.
Okay. So so part of your bio, you're saying you're getting some information direct from source too. So is that also being spoken through the Druids and the divine feminine? Correct. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll have people ask me about other topics like extraterrestrials or ley lines or different things that have nothing to do really with life purpose. And they're really just tapping into the collective consciousness and the source and giving that information. It might be a little bit more connected to how they work, but as they said, we can talk about anything within the universal consciousness. It's just it's going to connect in different ways. And there's certain people that will connect with the Druids, and there's people that will connect more with how the Palladians speak or Arcturians speak. So it's just really how. I guess another way of getting the information out there.
Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. So, are you able to very easily go into the channeling, or does it take you quite a bit of time to get into that state?
I can go pretty quick. It just kind of has to get the energy there, and then I kind of pop in, and then I can pop out pretty quick too.
Okay. Would you be willing for us to hear the Druids? I know we didn't
hear
it time, but I've never. Again, I'm super curious about what the Druids might have to share.
I'm happy to share for you today.
Okay, beautiful.
All right. Do you just want an open message?
Yeah, that would be great. I think something that the collective needs to hear.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. For as so many things are adjusting and changing, it is also important for you to realize that it's about letting the energies come in. It's about not trying to put things in boxes and allow for the information to be what has been or what can be. It is about letting each soul and energy work collectively with all of the other things that are out there. Because as you try to create these sections and these compartments of where things are, it is also important for you to have that understanding that it is okay for this realization and this readjustment to happen. And that as all things can work together as one, as they are all from creation and source, it is about letting the strength come up and then fall back down based on who brings that information forward. And as they bring that information forward, it also allows for that understanding of what has been and what will be. Because as those things are there for you, it allows for the understanding that where you fall within these energies, this matrix and within the grid. Because everything is in a synchronistic example of what is happening. It is not a coincidence. So it is about looking at what is being brought to you to allow for that change and that that transformation to begin. And as that is all coming in, it is about understanding that as things are here, it allows for you to know that you are what you need to be, where you need to be. And there are those people that may need to make adjustments or changes, but allow for you to accept what you have, where you're at, and continue to walk on your path to go where you want to go, need to go, and should go within this lifetime. Is that understanding for you?
Yes, I would love to know if you have any information about the year 2024. So
as things are shifting and as they're coming in, the year 2024 is one that really allows for that shifting in the end of an era, which will come in within that 2025 concept. Look at it from a numerological standpoint. But it is truly about the veil opening up and the energy and the vibration rising. As there are those souls that are deciding that they want to come in and experience during that time, or if they want to reshift out and go to another placement in time. And so as all of these things are happening, it is an amazement for each of you to be happy that you are on the planet during this. Because the shifting that will happen will be stronger than people even understand or realize. That you will have your feet deep into the ground. And that if you can understand that Earth is have to shift because of the energies and the vibrations are changing, as the dimensions are increasing and reshifting and realigning with what it needs to be. As all of those things come in, you will truly understand that the things that are happening are meant to be. And it is about allowing for all of you to experience this from a human perspective versus a spiritual perspective.
Beautiful. Could you share with us who you are as the Druids, truly?
So we are a consciousness that is very much connected to Earth. And as many of you have heard, we did have more of us on Earth in the lifetime many years ago. But now as this consciousness and energy, we have pulled it up out of the Earth back into the spiritual realm. And we into that energetic connection to allow others to come in and work on Earth with the information and knowledge that we have. As Jisho has decided she would do that for us, it allows for this to be there. Because if there are not collective consciousnesses of different placements and understandings as we are, that it would be difficult for this information at times to grasp down in. And so as this is coming forward, we know and we understand that the way we give information and knowledge may be done in a slightly different way than what others do or how they connect with it. But it is truly about you knowing of what you call to you and how it connects with you. For each person will resonate with the information or the consciousness that is more in alignment with them. So it is about finding where you connect. And as you decided to work today, that meant you had to connect to how we work and how we also connected. And so that is important for all things that are here and moving forward as you're understanding this connection to Earth, the place, and the time.
Beautiful. I'm just curious if you can share any information about my life purpose.
So yours is truly about understanding the human way of things. It is about understanding how you can give information out. It is about truly walking a path of your own self-discovery and path as well. But as you are doing this, it is also about opening up to the unknown. It is about you being able to learn and experience things in a much different way that truly allows for you to have that placement of life. To have the ability to connect in with what is there. And so as you work with others, you touch each of their souls in a much different way. But that is what they need and allow for that energy to flow through. So as you are walking this path, you think, what is next? How can I expand out more? How can I help others? But understand that as you can take the energy around you to transform yourself, that allows you to transform all around you and to give your information, your message, and the souls to have the connection of where they need to be and how they need to be there.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for your information today.
Of course. Anything else you have for us before we go?
No. Is there anything else you feel important to say?
Not at this time. We've given you much. And know and understand that as you hear this, you might hear something slightly different each and every time it comes forward. And with that, we wish you
Thank you.
So that is how it works. You're welcome.
I appreciate that. So now when they come through you like that, like I know you probably have been practicing with the energy, because I totally understand, like when I'm running the channeling, my body is like, okay, we need electrolytes, we're tired, we're whatever. And so has it gotten easier and easier to hold that energy?
It has. Over time, it's really, I can do it longer. I understand it more. But there is that physical body prep because the energy coming through is very different. So I'm very similar in that I'm drinking a lot of electrolytes. I'm making sure I'm increasing that me really hard. And just making sure that I'm ready for that information forward. I mean, this was just for a short period of time, so this will have minimal effect on me. But those times when I'm doing larger gallery readings, channeling for an hour and a half, 2 hours, that's when it gets me draining.
Okay. So in that first part of what they were sharing, do you remember what they were sharing? Okay. So can you go into more detail about your understanding, like the summary of really what they mean with that?
Yeah. So the grasp of what they really said is that as we are coming into this earth, and as we are reconnecting with who and what we are, we need to have an understanding of how we work with each of the energies around us. Because there's so many things that come to us. And the problem is that we're in a society that says, oh, that was a coincidence. Oh, you were at the wrong place at the wrong time. But I look at it, and what they've taught me is that it's not a coincidence. There was a reason why you had that incident happen. So, for example, I got rear-ended years ago when I was working in a corporate job, and I'm going, why did this happen? And they're going, things are literally hitting you from behind, and you don't know they're coming. And I was thinking about things that have happened in my life with relationships and friendships and just overall with my home and things. And I go, there are. I was being blindsided by these things. And so I took that as the time to know, okay, I need to make a change. I need to make a shift. So I was able to do some of those things and understand that. Whereas, a couple of years ago, I just said, oh, that just happened. It was a coincidence. That's what it was. So that's kind of what they're meaning is what is around you. Because as we're sitting in who we are, we think, oh, I've got this handled, I've got that handled. But I look at it as, okay, this is my strength. And then I see, okay, I'm working on some people. Who can I bring in this to elevate this even more? Or rely on, right now we know for homes, like I know I don't do electrical work, I'm not a plumber, I'm not that. But with our own lives, we don't necessarily do that. We say, oh yeah, I'm working on my inner child stuff. Oh, I'm good at releasing this. There's all those different things that we do. So how can we work together as a collective to help all of each other?
Beautiful. Well, so I guess for 2024, because this will come out in 2024, I'm just wondering, so they shared a little information about, what might be coming. I know there's some people that are kind of in fear mode about some of the systems collapsing, and we have this whole shift into Aquarius from Capricorn and all of that. So I'm just wondering what your understanding of that shift is, whether from your own psychic information or from the Druids or anyone else.
Yeah. My understanding is that we're coming into a time frame where the vibration and the energies of the earth and the universe really have to shift. And what they told me is that the universe is only good as the weakest planet. And Earth kind of is the weakest one right now. It's the place where we can grow and really develop the most when we do come in a human form. But I think that as these things are shifting, we're going to see things re-looking at how are our structures in place? How do we have, government, financial situations? How do we exist on this earth together in this 3D world when we're moving into this 4 and 5D? And so as it's happening, a lot of people are noticing more natural disasters, more issues coming in. And so it's saying, okay, is that a change in vibration? Is it a fear factor? How are we going to utilize what the earth needs to do to rebalance herself? And how does that work within all of these structures that we have? And if you think about it from a numerology standpoint, I mean, it's an 8-year. So we're getting ready to end the cycle at a 9-year in 2025. Now, I'm not a numerologist, I will just say that. But when you think about those, we're kind of getting ready to reshift all of those things. And how does that kind of work in as, just as the energies have to shift around us.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. So, what else would you like us to know, either from your own information or them, that could be helpful for everyone?
I think for everyone, it's that, people probably heard this before, I'd learn don't sweat the small stuff. Let things come in. Let the universe show you what you need to see. Don't get upset. I really personally had to work on just not being up or mad about things. I'm like, I can't let it flow. And as you're working on energies, not the stuff you've got a shadow side. They're coming up because you need to work at them. You always say, please restructure, repurpose, or realign it. So how can you do with these energies? What serves you? What doesn't? And don't be hard on yourself. If you're like, oh, this just keeps coming up. If it's a lesson that you keep learning because you haven't fully learned it. People always say life is supposed to be hard. I don't think it's supposed to be hard. I think it should actually be fun. Now it can be cool. There are things that are going to come up. We're going to go, oh boy, that's a lot. But I just say, okay, I got it. And just look at it from a different viewpoint and say each thing in your life came in for a reason. And so that as a moment, okay, I'm learning it, I'm being mad, we can revisit it and really let ourselves move forward with the energy in however it needs to look or shift.
Okay. That's really, I think, important for people to understand, because there are always there's always a reason why something is coming in, or why, like, we do get rear-ended or sideswiped or things. So it's a wake-up call, right? And what I understand is that life does not have to be hard if we are following our passion, if we are coming from more of a state of joy and all of that. We're going to experience life very differently than if we're in a state of fear.
Exactly. Yeah. The fear holds us back. Where we just say, okay, this is where I'm at. Let me just embrace it and let it pass. You'll be in a much better state.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, so if you could share just a little more about the elements that the 5 weeks that the Druids work through, without, obviously you do, personal one-on-one coaching with people, but if you can give us a little more information about that, I would love it.
Yeah. So I really structure those 5 weeks in the coaching around the elements, because I find that these teach us so much. And they're everywhere in our lives, based on, we light a candle, we've got the fire energy, we're standing in the grass, we've got the earth energy. And so when I was figuring out how I really wanted to work with clients, I figured out that the first week of the earth and the grounding really allows for us to figure out the foundation, really dig in, figure out who you are, where you're at, what are your passions, what do you enjoy out of life, what do you not enjoy out of life that you do, and how can you reframe your belief structure into about what works for you to look at things more positively. And then I found that if we move into water, which is all about cleansing and releasing, but also looking at your program, your beliefs, your emotions, which brings up a lot of energy to go, okay, how does this fit with what I need? How does this work with where I'm at? And how all of that comes together. So that's a big week of moving and shifting. And it's funny. All clients say, oh, I had a great week the first week, and then they show up for that water day, and they're like, oh, it wasn't a good week. I'm like, I know, I didn't expect it to be. So now I try to let people know, like, hey, might be a little difficult. Just let it flow. And so then the third week we move into air, which is really that life force energy. So it allows for you to see what is it that gives you life, what brings you joy, where are those shifts happen? How does that all come together after we release the water? How do we bring this in more? And from there we move into fire, which is truly transformation, the death and rebirth of who are you rebirthing yourself into. And so if you think about Phoenix energy, where it kind of comes back into the whole thing, and I'm saying, look at where you come from. So it may have only been for a week, but that is really that shift that you see, the skills you possess. And then week 5 is a celestial element. So the whole connection. How does this fit in with your life moving forward? What are those little tidbits that you're looking how to adjust, change? And then clients can really move forward and say, okay, I've got the tools in my toolbox, how to work on this. I know how I need to work on things. How can I shift forward? And so then I always want clients to spend a few weeks figuring out how this works in your everyday life. Or that some clients come back then and are like, hey, I'm ready to keep forward. I just need that little help. I've had others that are like, reach out. I'm still doing awesome. I'm still using what you have. I'm good with that too. Because I really want to empower people to be able to take their life into their own hands and look at things. Not with fear, when an energy up or something happens. Not look at it as, oh, I believe happening. I don't want this to be okay. It's coming up for, and how can I accept this? Because we consented to this energy coming in. We may not like it, but it's part of our experience as a soul. And now it's time to move forward.
Okay, beautiful. You're the first one that I've had on that works in that way, and so I love it. I love sharing with my audience all these different ways that you can navigate life and work with different energies. So I really appreciate the more of that grounded, Druid, earthy energy that you are bringing forward and working with the elements.
Well, thank you. It really can. I let them tell me how they want to do that, and it works really well. So I enjoy people utilizing that.
Okay, so now I'm curious about the divine feminine, because what I understand, like from my own, the information I'm getting, but also just, observation is, it's time for the patriarchal society to fall. That's one of the systems that we really need to collapse. And it's not about women taking over, but it's about them being equal, right? And so I'm just curious from your side of the divine feminine, like what is coming through with that?
What I get a lot about that is that there's divine masculine and divine feminine. And so she's kind of more of that creation-based energy. If you think about women are the ones that birth and have that nurturing that side, The masculine and feminine is really to show the differences. They're the opposite of each other. But how one isn't better than the other, and that they both need to work together to create this. Well, to create newness, to allow for that to happen. But it's having her understanding that our things mean as things are reaching in and coming in, it truly allows for that knowing that is there. And that doesn't want the masculine side to fall, but she wants to understand that they work together and that the strength that the female energy has is very strong. And so it's more about the balance is what I've been picking up. And understanding that each needs each other. And that as the masculine and feminine can really work together, knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are, it allows for men. So I tell people a lot, it really embrace who and what you are. Embrace that feminine side, that masculine side. There has to be a balance between them. Even though I'm a female, and that's how I identify, that there is that concept of that masculine part of me too. Where people work in the yard, it's like I turn on that masculine side, and like, all right, let's go out, back around, and make those changes. So I think that's the one thing that I'm trying to say is that there needs to be that balance there, and that understanding that strength that comes from everything, including the feminine side. It's just not the masculine side.
Okay, yeah, and I totally agree with that as well. It is the balance. It's been out of balance for far too long.
Figure you.
Well, in our just last little bit of time here, I would love for you to share like how people can find you. Do you work with people? I'm assuming you work with people remotely. Because you're based, you had told me before, out of the Chicago area. So yeah. Do you work with people in person and remotely, or just remotely?
So I do a little bit of both. A lot of my one-on-one clients are based remotely or Zoom, so that is there. But I do classes that are in person in the Chicagoland area, kind of at different places, around the country. I'll ask and teach that. And so they can find me there. Everything is really on my website for events. Things pop up randomly, so I always tell people, I don't schedule for a year, this month, so check in. But if people want to understand more about how this work or what they talk about, they can also find the YouTube channel where I post a lot of different information on there, different channels that I do about different topics, so they can find that. That's under the channel source. And then I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all the regular media platforms. They can find me as well.
Okay, beautiful. So what is your website? Where can they find you?
It is the channeledsource.com.
Thechannelsource.com. Perfect. Okay. Well, I have really enjoyed this. And I do, even though I put you on the spot with the channeling, thank you for playing with me.
Of course, I'm happy to.
Because some people are like, no.
I'm used to it. Just pop in, pop out.
I love it. Well, and again, I just really appreciate the work that you do, that you're sharing with the world. It's so important. And yeah, I just thank you for being here with me, and for the audience, thank you for listening or watching. And I will see you next time on Connection to the Cosmos. Aloha.
Thank you.